This is a warning. The Grim Reaper of radio, Bob Romanik, with his off-the-record show is about to air. He's probably the nastiest and craziest son of a bitch that you've ever had the misfortune to encounter. The Grim Reaper show will be very controversial and probably quite tasteless. If you are even slightly offended by controversial matter concerning religion, racial matters, politics, or life's problems, you are hereby warned to turn this program off immediately. The Grim Reaper show will be, like his face, very scary and very ugly. At this time, not proudly, but shamefully presents to you Bob Romanik, the craziest son of a bitch on the radio today.
This is Bob Romanik, the Grim Reaper of radio, and you're listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM, simulcasting on KZQZ 1430 AM. Insane broadcasting at its finest. America's bi-state voice of freedom. Radical Radio, and we are, as always, proud, very, very proud to be the Patriot. Hey, good Wednesday morning to everybody. Weather's nice. Weather report's over. Hey, yesterday, and you guys know me well enough now after 6-7 years and listen to my crap, that if I'm right, I'm right, and when I'm wrong, I'm always man enough to apologize on the air, and I've done it a few times. And I want to tell you, stick around after we do our community service. I talked about Brad Van Hoos yesterday, and everybody knows what an idiot he is. But I met one of the nicest people in the world this morning, came by the radio station, one of the nicest people, a Navy veteran, a great man, Dan Van Hoos, Brad Van Hoos's father. The total difference between night and day. What an honorable man. And I need to apologize to him and his wife, and I will after this. And we're going to talk about this loser, Brad Van Hoos. But this is going to be the last time I talk about him because, see, that's what this no-good, ignorant son of a bitch wants. He's been all over me and all over the U.S. attorney a few months back, state's attorney, everybody. And he gets nasty. Sometimes he puts his name on it, sometimes he doesn't. But most of the time he does because, see, that's what he wants, is what he's getting now, recognition. Hey, Brad Van Hoos, also known as Brad Van Loser. And I would say Brad Van Hoosier, but there's a lot of Hoosiers that I like. I'm not going to put them in a low class like you are. I'm going to give you your 10 minutes of infamy today. Then I'm going to let it go because, see, you're a piece of crap. That's like stepping in a piece of crap. You got to address it. You got to clean it up. But you don't want to step in crap anymore. And this is the last time we're going to step in crap with you, Brad Van Loser. But we'll get to you momentarily. I want to talk about this asswipe lady, if in fact she did. And everybody is innocent until proven guilty. And I would say that about Brad Van Loser. All the situation that's come up with him, never once did I call him a pedophile protester. Never once. But he come out, got a court order, or attempted to get a court order, made everything public knowledge, and I'm going to read off some of the responses. And people, I'm going to give you Brad Van Loser's number. He was nice enough to put my number on the internet a few months back, and so I'm going to repay the favor. But people, I had probably 200 calls, all of them negative about this losing idiot. And everybody that listens, everybody has been touched negatively, of course, by Brad Van Hoos, also known as Brad Van Loser. Everybody has. So, Brad, you sit there in your little high chair, and you're going to get your last 15 minutes of fame, of infamy, and then we're going to let you go because, see, Brad, you're not worth dealing with. But, again, when you step in crap, you got to address the problem. And that's what we're doing. We're addressing the problem. And we'll get to that momentarily. We're going to talk about the development at the shrine They don't have a hotel after all these months. And in Mayor Mark Big Pussy Maximus Vaginus Eckert says, well, it's coming. Now they were going to open up this German restaurant this summer. Now it's going to be this fall, and before it's over, it'll probably be next summer. I don't see anything going on. It's all been stopped. And I say to you, Maximus Vaginus, Mayor Mark Eckert, you piece of political crap, I say to you, you should have vetted this guy. You should have vetted this development. You never should have give up the hardworking taxpayers' money without knowing what developments were going to be there, the commitments, the building plans, everything, to give up $38 million in tax incentives just at the whim, your whim, you idiot. You're going to see, and I hope, like the spy agency, I hope that development goes so Mark Maximus Vaginus Eckert can prop up his chest and say, hey, you see, I was right. As bad as I hate you politically, I don't hate you personally, Mark Eckert. Maximus Vaginus, don't even know you. But politically I do, and I think most people do hate you politically. I would like to say Mark Maximus Vaginus Eckert was right on this one. Just like I wanted to say that Mark Kern, God Sprague, God, I'd rather piss in my pants than piss in a toilet, Sprague. And don't forget John Red on the Noodle like a pecker on a poodle bear civic. I'd like to say thank you guys for getting the spy agency, the $1.7 billion development, the billions that it'll bring in residual revenue all throughout our county the next 20 years, 25, 30 years. But I can't say that. I have to blame you for losing the spy agency, and we'll get into all that, but let's take care of our housekeeping, and then we're going all over. We are America's voice of freedom, definitely the Patriot. Call toll-free, 1-888-394-1430. On the east side, 394-1190. Now, I don't know if I'm going to take any negative calls on Brad Van Hoos, also known as Brad Van Loser, because we had so many yesterday. Hell, the lines blew up yesterday. But we're going to take whatever calls. Toll-free, 1-888-394-1430. On the east side, 394-1190. Don't forget Hero Inside Day, a perfect family fun day, raising awareness against heroin. It'll be held. The fundraiser will be held April the 16th, this Saturday at Everett Moody Park, Longacre Park in Fairview Heights. People, if you can get out there, they're going to have bouncy houses for the kids, face painting, live bands, lots of fun for the kids. It says, hey, Brad Van Hoos, why don't you not come around there? I'm just asking. Maybe you find something else to do. But it's going to be raising awareness against heroin. That'll be this Saturday, April the 16th at Everett Mooney Park. And just remember, and hopefully your family has not been involved in that addiction, but you know, it's taking over our country. So let's be concerned about everyone so they can be concerned about us. Lunch at the Legion, Monday through Friday. Lunch at the Legion in O'Fallon, the O'Fallon American Legion. We want to salute all our brave military heroes, all the American Legions, all the VFWs. I can't say that enough. How hard they've worked and what they've sacrificed to make me be able to be on the air and speak my mind, whatever little mind I have, and to speak free in this great country. But they're luncheon at the Legion every Monday through Friday from 11 to 1 p.m. Public is invited. Also, the American Legion in O'Fallon, Wednesday night dinner specials from 6 to 8. The American Legion in O'Fallon, located at 109 North Penn Street in O'Fallon, and it's always open to the public. And don't forget, this Saturday, April the 16th, from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m., it's sponsored by the O'Fallon Moose Lodge, 2608. All the proceeds will go to Life Skills Classroom at Fulton Junior High School. It's going to be a barbecue, and it's going to be held at the American Legion. So if you guys can get out there this Saturday to the O'Fallon American Legion to help the O'Fallon Moose Lodge, it'll be greatly appreciated. Also coming up this Saturday, April the 16th, the Cahokia VFW Post 1699 car show. Going to be 125, 150 vehicles, they say. What a great show. If you'd like to get involved, you can call the Cahokia VFW Post 1699. It's 618-337-1699. This Saturday, and hopefully we'll be there at the Edwardsville American Legion. They're going to have their great Saturday, April the 16th special, the first annual Spring Rocks on the Hill. We're going to have 3 bands, going to have plenty of food, great time, an all-day event put on by the great people at the Edwardsville American Legion. They're located at 59 South State Street, Route 157 in Edwardsville. You can call 656-9774 for any and all information. Tori's story, Morgan's family fundraiser, and we're going to try to make it out this Sunday, the spaghetti dinner, Sunday, April the 17th at the St. John the Baptist Church, Catholic Church in Smithton. Tori Morgan is a senior at Freeburg High School. She was hurt in a serious car crash on her way to school on March the 21st, so if you good people can get out there, please do and help out a great cause for the great people of Smithton. Einide Shriners Drum and Bugle Corps. You heard us yesterday talking to the gentleman from the Shriners. Great group. They're having their spring exhibition with special guests, the O'Fallon Jazz Band. It'll be held April the 23rd, 7 p.m. at the Scottish Rites Auditorium, 1549 Frank Scott Parkway. For tickets or information, please call 874-1870. Don't forget, you can pick me up on iTunes. Type in Bob Romanik and/or the Grim Reaper Radio. You can go to our streaming site, insanebroadcasting.com, one word, common spelling, for the best of all 3 of our stations. Now, you can hear my repeat performance every day, Monday through Friday at 4 o'clock p.m. and at the stroke of midnight, broadcasting from the graveyard to the graveyard shift. Please like us on Facebook, KQQZ 1190 AM or KZQZ 1430 AM. And go to fans of the Grim Reaper Radio. I've got a Facebook. I don't know that I've got one, but they say I do. Or go to Bob Romanik for state representative, and you can give me bad comments. Brad, that'll be your forum. Don't mess with people. Just get on the internet and be the fool that you are. On this date, April the 13th, 1943, Jefferson Memorial was dedicated in Washington, D.C. on this date, April the 13th, 1943. On this date, very interesting, April the 13th, 1956, the last eyewitness to the assassination of Abraham Lincoln died in Arlington, Virginia. 96-year-old Sam Seymour was only 5 years old when he witnessed the assassination at Ford's Theater. On this date, April the 13th, 1957, due to lack of funds, Saturday mail delivery in the United States was halted. On this date, April the 13th, 1972, the first baseball player strike in history ended after 13 days. On this date, April the 13th, 1976, the $2 bill was reintroduced as United States currency by the Federal Reserve. That's what happened on this date, April the 13th, throughout all these years in our world's history. Hey, I want to say hi. I met a gentleman from Don's Carpet Care in the Alton area at Edwardsville, at Wood River on Sunday. I want to say hi to him, and also want to put a shout out to Curtis Blackman, a proud business gentleman down in East St. Louis. I met his grandson, a great young man, at the Schnook store in Belleville. And I want to say, Curtis Blackman, be proud of your grandson. What a great young man he is. I don't know. Let's go ahead with Brad Van Looser. I want to get that out of the way. I told you I talked with Mr. Van Hoos, Dan Van Hoos, the father of Brad. Actually, he came by the studio today. Had a great conversation. And you know what he said? He said, Bob, and I don't want to talk too much on a personal note of what he said, but it kind of got me when being a father, when he said, Bob, I lost my son at 16. After 16, I just lost contact with him, lost him psychologically, lost him personally. And I feel for Dan and Jean Van Hoos. And in the court proceedings, and yesterday I did say that I said something about Mrs. Van Hoos, Jean Van Hoos, that I was totally out of line to say, totally inappropriate. And I want to sincerely apologize to Dan and Jean Van Hoos for putting them into this fight. Dan, what a great man. He's an ex-Navy veteran. We sit here and talked for about 45 minutes. We talked father talk. We talked friend talk. And you don't know how bad I feel for bringing them into this fight with this idiot Brad Van Loser. So they're really not related at this point because they are proud people, the Van Hooses. This is Brad Van Loser, but I want to sincerely apologize to Jean Van Hoos. I'm sure she's a lovely lady. I went overboard. I stepped over the line, and I want to apologize. Now, the guy said, well, you don't have to get on the air, Mr. Van Hoos. I said, yes, I do. If I give somebody hell on the air and I want to apologize, I'm going to apologize to the same people that I insulted with the same people that were listening. So I want to say I hope Dan and Jean Van Hoos will sincerely accept my apology. I don't want to pull them into their son's situation, but to me, this situation is really getting out of hand because he's been hassling, he's been disrespecting, he's been terrorizing, in my words, been terrorizing the people of St. Clair County for 4 or 5 years. And I have to say, I'd like to repay Brad Van Hoos, Brad Van Loser. And I'm sorry, people have given him a new name, and it is Brad Van Loser because he is the ultimate loser. He's got no job, no friends, no life, and most of all, he's no good. Since this Brad Van Loser, since he was nice enough to put my telephone number out on the internet some time back, and that was awful nice of him. I'm going to repay his favor, his personal phone number, and I'm giving it to you people because I don't want to take all the calls. I've had hundreds of phone calls, emails, stating what a no-good son of a bitch this Brad Van Loser is. So please, people, it's not my fault he is what he is. It's not my fault he went to the court and exposed himself for potential, I say, problems. And just remember, everybody in this country is innocent until proven guilty. So I don't want any contact with him. Never had much contact a few years back and got away from the stupid son of a bitch. But here's some of the calls on this idiot Brad Van Loser. One lady says, how despicable a person this bastard is. And this is a lady. Another, what a low-life, what a unhuman being, or whatever an unhuman being is. One man called and stated this loser, Brad Van Hoos, that don't come around him and his children. I don't know what's meant by that, but, and the other person, why would this guy, Brad Van Hoos, be so concerned and try to get an order of protection and put in there what he said you allegedly said if it really didn't happen? And I really don't know. I asked the same question. Why would he do that? One of them, Brad Van Hoos. What an awful, rotten son of a gun, this lady says. I wonder why he's so sensitive about this situation. Another lady, I know this person. He has harassed everyone around here for the past 5 or 6 years, especially in the Caseyville area. Is this the same Brad Van Hoos that created such a disturbance at Southwestern Illinois College that he was arrested and hauled off in handcuffs? Yes, I agree with everyone else. He is certainly a loser. Brad Van Hoos, you wanted your 15 minutes of fame, and you got it. But, buddy, I don't know if it's pretty. But anyway, Brad Van Loser's number, don't call me, people, and complain about him. And again, just remember, you're innocent in this country until proven guilty of anything. And I told you, he gets to the courthouse, tries to get a order of protection saying I said he was a pedophile and never once said he was a pedophile. I don't know why it bothers him so bad. And that's what people are saying when they're calling in. Why is he so concerned? I don't know. I'm asking that same question. But Brad, you've got a lot of people out there that really don't like you. And people don't call and complain to me. You can go up to the courthouse. You can get his pleadings, his false pleadings, because what he said in the pleadings were totally false. But you can call Mr. Brad Van Loser at 618-520-6737. That's 618-520-6737. And if you got a problem with Brad Van Hoos, take it up with him. Don't take it up with me. I don't know why he even thought that I was talking about him being the pedophile protester. There's a lot of protesters out there. So, Brad Van Loser, please, you are what you are, and you do what you do, but don't harass the good people of St. Clair County. And again, this is the last time I'm going to bring all this crap up because I've got better things to do. The good people of St. Clair County have better things to do. And so, Brad, you can get on the internet, you can do whatever, but just get a job. Somebody said yesterday, why don't the ignorant son of a bitch get a job? I heard you had a job up in Seattle, Washington. Did you? I'm asking Brad Van Hoos, did you get in some kind of legal difficulties, not only down here, which we know about, but in the Seattle, Washington area? I'm just curious. So Brad Van Loser, I just want to say this is the last time you'll hear from me, Brad. So you got what you wanted. You'll do whatever you have to do. Put your name in the paper, write the nasty articles, write anonymous letters to whatever you do, it's okay with me. Just please get you a job, do something productive. People are laughing at you, Brad Van Loser. You know that, Brad. Most of them are afraid of you, but as soon as you leave, they laugh behind your back. So if you people have a problem with Brad Van Loser, please call 618-520-6737. Story's over. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back. We're going to talk about the development in Belleville. We're going to talk about whatever you good people want to talk about because we are America's voice of freedom. We are definitely the Patriots. You can call toll-free 1-888-394-1430. On the east side, 394-1190. And once again, before we leave, Mr. and Mrs. Van Hoos, I want to sincerely, I was totally out of line to even bring you good people up in this debacle with Brad Van Hoos, Brad Van Loser, also known as. So I want and I hope Mr. and Mrs. Van Hoos accept my apology because, actually talking with Mr. Van Hoos, I feel bad for him. I feel bad for the entire situation. And the people that know Brad Van Hoos know what I'm talking about. So Dan and Jean Van Hoos, please, the mother and the father of this idiot, please accept my apology. I was totally out of line, and I've talked with Mr. Van Hoos. What a great man, a proud Navy man, a proud veteran. I don't know how proud he is of his son, but having said that, my sincerest apologies for being way out of line. Never should have brought his family, Brad Van Loser's family, into this because they didn't deserve it. Take a quick break. We'll be right back. This is Bob Romanik. The Grim Reaper of Radio, and you're listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM, simulcasting on KZQZ 1430 AM, insane broadcasting at its finest, America's bi-state voice of freedom, radical radio, and we are, as always, proud, very, very proud to be the Patriot. This is Bob Romanik, the Grim Reaper of Radio, and you're listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM, simulcasting on KZQZ 1430 AM, insane broadcasting, America's bi-state voice of freedom, radical radio, and we are, as always, very proud to be the Patriot. We had some more callers. I just want to wrap this up with Brad Van Loser, Brad Van Hoos. He went to the courthouse, for all you people that haven't been listening, tried to get a court order to stop me from talking. Said I said he was a pedophile. Never once have I said Brad Van Hoos or Brad Van Loser was a pedophile. I don't know where the hell he came up with that. And let me tell all you good people, remember, everyone is presumed innocent until proven guilty. So just take that with you. And you too, Brad Van Loser. I don't know where you're coming off. People are calling and asking, why would that bother you? Some people may call you anything, Brad Van Loser. I don't know what the hell other people call you, but I think now I probably know what they call you. I think you opened the door up, Brad Van Loser, by going to court and having a public record. And I want to tell you, Brad Van Loser, they laughed you out of court. Tell me to stop, get a court order to stop me from talking. Are you crazy, you idiot? Brad Van Loser, you're off the charts now. So the number one more time before I go. Where the hell's it at? I got to find his number. 520-3767, I believe. But we'll get it one last time because, here it is, 520-6737. That's 520-6737. If you got a problem with him and children or whatever the problem is, I don't know. I'm just asking. Whatever the problem is, call this idiot and complain to him. Hell, we can't tie up our lines when Brad Van Hoos is this and he's that, and I don't know what the hell he is, don't want to know what he is, but I do know he's a low-life piece of crap. Having said that about low-life pieces of crap, I see in the paper, and again, everybody is innocent until proven guilty. Dupo mother charged in death of Princess, her 4-year-old daughter. How in the hell? I don't give a damn how sick somebody is. They can always get help. And Brad Van Loser, maybe you need some help. Well, no, you certainly do, in my opinion. But this lady from Dupo, can anybody fathom having a 4-year-old daughter and then a mother killing her? I don't care what the reason is. You know, they can come up with all kind of reasons. Oh, she's this, she's bipolar, she's tripolar. I don't give a damn what kind of polar she is. To have something like this happen, and we're all mothers and fathers, I mean, it don't set very, very well with me. Emily Rose Perrin, beautiful young 4-year-old daughter. And they say the DCFS placed the siblings with a relative after the death. You know, I worked briefly for the DCFS. What a screwed up organization. I mean, they've got no teeth. They can't do anything but report. And then the problem is, and there's some good people in DCFS, but there's also some political appointees. And I think in a situation like this, never, ever should there be a political employee in a position like this. They all should be highly qualified. But you know how these bastards play politics. But our thoughts and prayers for the people that are religious, I'm sure they all go out to Emily Rose Perrin, a beautiful 4-year-old daughter of this. And I don't know, Mary Lockett is her name. And I don't want to talk too bad about her because, again, she is innocent until proven guilty. But what I've read, I'm not real happy with her, and I don't think law enforcement's real happy. And I just don't understand. But hey, you've got children out there, hug them. I don't give a damn if they're 50 years old and you're 70. Hug your children because you never know. You never know when you may not get another chance. People, let me tell you, this debacle that's going to go on at the Shrine Development, do you understand what Mark Maximus Vaginas Eckert has done to the good people of Belleville? He's given up 38, 40, and it's going to be more, $1 million in incentives. This guy never knew what was coming. He let this group out of Effingham give him the old okey-doke. Hey, we're going to have 9 million hotels. We're going to have 6 million restaurants, and I'm being facetious, of course. Not going to be 5 restaurants there. Not going to be 4 hotels. Hell, it won't sustain 1 restaurant at the end of the day. Why didn't you, Mark Maximus Vaginas Eckert, the unillustrious mayor, may I say, of Belleville, Illinois, why would you give up $36, $38, $40 million in tax incentives, money that would eventually been put in the coffers for the good people of Belleville, without vetting this development group out of Effingham, Illinois. I'm asking you, and I think all the good people of Belleville deserve an answer. Would you good people, would you give somebody $40 million of not only your money, but your family's money, your friends' money, your neighbor's money, until you found out all the facts? This idiot Eckert did not get one confirmation on what hotel was going to be there. You know that because there's no hotel there yet. It's going to be such a big development. If it was going to be such a big, successful development, every hotel, every five-star hotel in this country, Drury, Sheraton, all the big hotels, they would have been knocking the doors down at Belleville City Hall to be part of that development. It's been 6 months, 8 months, maybe even a year, and the developer still doesn't have a hotel that he can name. They're shopping around and they're shopping and shopping. I said before, probably be a Motel 3. It's not going to be even good enough area for a Motel 6. And hell, they ain't going to be able to leave the light on like they say at Motel 6. Hey, I leave the light on. Hell, they're not going to be able to pay for the electricity to keep the light on in the Motel 3 because nobody's going to use that. And now, the big German restaurant was going to be open this summer. Now, all of a sudden, it's going to be late fall. What is that indicative of, people? You know what's happening. This development may fall before it even starts. Now, they've taken some equipment and they've knocked a lot of trees down. They've made it look good. But I don't see them bricking up anything. I don't see any activity there anymore. If you people drive by, it looks like a ghost town. Drive by 15 on the north side of the shrine and see that development. It's not being, a development gets developed. I don't think this is a development, Mayor Mark Maximus Vaginas Pussy Boy Eckert. Nothing's being done. Can't get a hotel. There's going to be soccer fields. They're just putting 8 or 10 soccer fields over in St. Louis. That's where people are going to go. Everybody's heard about this culture of corruption. Permeates all throughout St. Clair County. That's the problem. That's the problem. These politicians have not only stolen everything, they've run the decent businesses out of this county. They're going up to Edwardsville, beautiful area. They're going to St. Louis. They're going out to Mount Vernon. People are leaving by the droves in St. Clair County. And you know why. We all know why. It's because of this culture of corruption. But for you, Mark Maximus Vaginas Eckert, also known as Pussy Boy, what the hell have you done? We demand, people of Belleville demand that you step up and you explain yourself. Let everybody know. Let everybody know what hotels are coming. It shouldn't be a secret. You've given up $40 million of the hardworking taxpayers' money in Belleville through these tax incentives. You give that up. You give that information out, didn't you, Mayor? Well, why don't you give the information out as to why you give $38 to $40 million in taxpayers' money? And it is taxpayers' money because it's taxes that would have come back to the coffers of the good people of Belleville. When are you going to announce a hotel, Mark Eckert, Pussy Boy, Maximus Vaginas? When? It's been a year. And don't you think, as all decent business, intelligent business people would think, to give up that much money, that you would have everything ironclad? You would have commitments from the hotels. You would have had commitments from the restaurants. You would have had commitments from the convenience stores. You would have had all these commitments, Eckert, before you would have given up $38 to $40 million of the people of Belleville's money. You good people in Belleville, think about it. It's just an offshoot of St. Clair County. You know, Eckert's in bed with Kern and Sprague and Barra Civic. I don't know literally, of course, but politically, of course, they are in bed together. Why do you good people of Belleville, why do you good people of St. Clair County, Democrats, Republicans, men, women, black and white, why, after 50 years, are you continuing to just go ahead and let this crap go? You're accepting this. They're slapping us all in the face. And we're saying, oh, that felt good. Do it again. And they're doing it again and again and again. When is this crap going to stop? November of 2016, people. And we do talk politics here night and day. I'm running. A lot of other good candidates are running. I'm not so good, but they are. Give these good people the opportunity to show you what they can do. And you've heard me before. If they don't do it in 4 years, throw their asses out. Don't give them 40 years. These rotten bastards, Sprague, Kern, Barra Civic, they're all saying now, well, it'll be better in 4 years. Hell, if it's not better in 40 years, 4 more years is not going to make a difference. But you see what's going on. This debacle at the shrine, that development, and hopefully one day something happens there. Just like the airport. After 20 years, going on 20 years, Kern and Sprague and Barra Civic keep telling you good people, well, we're wasting $12, $15 million of your money, not our money, your money, but it's eventually going to be successful. Well, hell yeah, in another 100 years, but we'll be out so much it'll never make, you're not a successful business unless you make a profit. And that's never going to happen at Mid-America Airport. But they're so vain, if it was their business, they would cut their losses 15 years ago. But they don't give a damn. They're disrespecting all of us. It's our money, not their money. Now you fold in the spy agency, and it's amazing. There's press in Chicago. There's press in Springfield. There's press all throughout the Metro East. They all know why we did not get the spy agency. Wasn't because it wasn't the best location. It was. Wasn't because it was safe. It was. I went through that litany of facts for the last 3 days, but I just want to keep reminding you good people, we didn't get it because of the culture of corruption in St. Clair County. We didn't get it because of these low-life, no-count, good-for-nothing, son of a bitchin' punk politicians, these parasitical bastards that have run every decent person, run all the decent businesses out of St. Clair County. It's going to be in St. Louis. Terry Beach, what an asswipe, says, give us another 15 days. Do you know how pathetic that is, people? That Kern and Sprague and Barra Civic puts bench out there on Front Street Beach and says, you go out there and you beg for another 15 days. No, the people of St. Clair County have been begging for 20, 30 years to have proper leadership, proper government. And we've been begging for a lot longer than you guys been begging for 15 days, so there can be a little bit longer public comment. They're trying to save face. They'd like to drag this on for 20 years like they've done the airport, people. It's not going to happen. The airport is going to cost you more and more. The spy agencies already cost us $4 or $5 billion in projected income for St. Clair County and the surrounding area. And for the people of Belleville, this debacle at the shrine, this development is never going to happen. Think about it. If it was such a good location, hotels would be knocking the door down. They can't find a hotel, and they're back and going to be 6-8 months behind in construction. If I say it ever gets completed, the St. Clair County culture of corruption marches on with the hardworking taxpayers' money. This is Bob Romanik. The Grim Reaper of radio, and you're listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM, simulcasting on KZQZ 1430 AM. Insane broadcasting, America's bi-state voice of freedom. Hey, Kern, it's bi-state, not bisexual, and we got some pretty pictures of Kern coming out today in his bikini. You gotta see them. Radical Radio, and we are, as always, proud, very proud to be the Patriot. This is Bob Romanik, the Grim Reaper of radio, and you're listening to the all-new KQQZ, 1190 AM, simulcasting on KZQZ, 1430 AM, insane broadcasting, America's bi-state voice of freedom, radical radio, and we are, as always, proud, very proud to be the Patriot. With me, a good friend of ours. We've got him from all over the world. This man's been in so many political campaigns. If he was a prostitute, he'd be a billionaire. Mr. Steve Denari, the executive director of the St. Clair County Freedom Coalition. Roger and Carl have brought him down from Chicago. Years of political experience, and it really is an honor and a privilege to have this gentleman with us. Mr. Steve Denari, how you doing, sir?
Thank you, Bob. I'm doing great. 30 days on the road just about since the primary on March 15th, and taking the message up like St. Paul out on the trail, going north of the listening area into central Illinois and northern Illinois, and they are stunned. They are absolutely stunned at what's going on down here. I had one guy say to me, well, isn't that Little Cook County down there in St. Clair County? They're saying it's been as control.
Well, it has been, but you know what, Steve? You're hearing what I'm hearing from Springfield and Chicago, and they know that these guys' number is up, that they've been exposed down here in St. Clair County, and everybody from the governor to the senators to even Washington, they're talking about St. Clair County. We're on the map. I think they're going to see a major change because it's going to be the perfect storm in 2016.
Well, and that's right, Bob. The interesting thing is the Republican Party up in Cook County and even in some places, Decatur, et cetera, have tried on their own to rip out, a Democratic control or one-party control, but nobody has gone after it kind of like the coalition has, which says, okay, party beside, let's vote for the person, not the party, and this is probably the year for that. You can see it in the presidential reflection.
Right.
And I think we'll see it down here. And the other thing I wanted to note is people are totally astonished all throughout the state at your race and your financial commitment especially.
You know what, Steve, they say Sprague and Kern and Bear Civic, my ill-gotten money. I challenge all of these guys. I will release my tax returns if they will. My money's been made through the stock market, through hard work, 16, 18 hours a day in my investigative business. They can say ill-gotten money. Their money's ill-gotten because they've gotten it from the backs of the hardworking taxpayers. But I put another $1 million, and this was money going to my son, and my son's no longer here. And my legacy and my dedication is to destroy these bastards that tried to destroy my son because of me. So I'm probably going to put a third $1 million in there. I'm going to fight and do whatever I can do. And I want all the people to know, if you're against this culture of corruption and you're in the political arena, contact us because we're going to fight. I respect money for what it can do. I'm not like these rotten rich bastards that worship money. I will spend money for results, and the results I want is devastation for this corrupt St. Clair County Democratic organization.
Well, as far as this goes, they see you as sort of the general in a war here. You've got the air power, which we're speaking over right now, but the money will give you the ground power. And no one has ever done, I think, what you're going to do, which is really make a concerted effort to bring East St. Louis into the fold and get them out from under, the crippling, corruption that exists in Belleville.
Yeah. You know what, Steve, you talked earlier about the two-party system and vote the person, not the party, but everybody benefits from a two-party system. They've laid here with the culture of corruption, the Democrats, for 40 years. They don't have to do nothing for the people because they control the votes. Now, we brought this to the forefront, and people are going to benefit. Democrats, Republicans, black, white, men and women. It's good to have a two-party system, and I think we have to destroy this culture of corruption, this 40, 50 year of corrupt Democratic control, and build a new base for everybody in St. Clair County.
Well, I can tell you this. They are all watching. If this happens, if it actually happens and you bust through and, we're able to clean the slate and turn this around, there are counties and congressional districts throughout the state that are watching, and they will probably go to the Freedom Coalition
concept. Yeah,
right.
I think that's a great concept. And You talked about East St. Louis. Probably most of our listening audience on the Illinois side and even the Missouri side, and we've got a big, expansive listening audience. We've got 4.5 million potential listeners on both stations. Where somebody in their family has come out of East St. Louis or had contacts with East St. Louis, I want to help develop East St. Louis, that very, very profitable, financially enormous East St. Louis riverfront, Steve, because with that, there can be hotels, there can be restaurants. I pushed to have the spy agency down there, but Sprague and Kern told everybody in Washington, no, we got to have it in Mascoutah. Mascoutah people, great. I wish it would have went out there if it couldn't have went to East St. Louis, but they had to have that, Steve, because that's the excuse they were going to use. Hey, Romanik and Cook and the Freedom Coalition have been talking about the debacle at the Mid-America Airport. Well, we couldn't tell you people, but we had to keep this going. They had to lose $12-15 million a year in order to get the spy $1.7 billion. But now when they lost that, it's a double whammy. They're down for the count. They don't know what to do. They're coming up with lies. They're desperate. They're trying to get more time for public comment. That's not going to do any good, Steve, and it shows what the lack of leadership in St. Clair County's been for the last 40, 50 years.
Puts a big exclamation point on it, Bob, and this is the year. This is the perfect storm.
I believe that. You're hearing all throughout the state. We're getting some attention in Springfield and Chicago. We're getting attention in Washington. I had some people in Washington call me and ask me what the hell was going on.
Right. This is the moment, as you've said a number of times on the air, and I think that nobody really got together until the coalition came around to put together a slate of candidates. I mean, some of those candidates have been lifelong Republicans, some Democrats, some independents, but they're all joining and being backed by the Freedom Coalition and riding the Republican ticket, but that's what's going to make it strong. As Republicans stand alone, it doesn't work. They've tried it throughout the state. This is the right model, I think, going forward.
Yeah, I agree with you. See, we've got this asswipe who's the chairman of the Republican Party, that's Doug Jamison. If you got anything to do with the Democrats or the Freedom Coalition, we're going to disown you. Well, without Democratic support, without independent support, the Republican Party in St. Clair County has went nowhere. It's a fact for the last 30, 40, 50 years. We've united the St. Clair County Freedom Coalition, men, women, black, white, Democrats, Republicans, independents. We've united with the Republican Party. Now they're going to talk, I can't vote for this guy because he's a Republican. No, we're with the Freedom Coalition. We're representing everybody, men, women, black, white, Democrats, Republicans, independents, Catholic, Methodists. We don't care because that's what happens, Steve. These Democratic and Republican established parties, they want to divide and conquer. I don't care about the Democratic Party, the elite. I don't care about the Republican Party elite. I care about the rank and file, the good, the true Democrats, the true Republicans that want to make a better country for them and their families. That's what I care about. I don't give a damn about the party leaders.
Well, one of the things is, Bob, is that when you look at the primary, you can see that the voter turnout being so far up is going to be, I think, the key to the swing. What happened is, in the primary, of course, in Illinois, you have to declare. But now, in November, you have that chance. You're alone in that voting booth. You can pick whoever you want, and no one knows.
Yeah, and I've made the statement, and we're running out of time. If I come to you and you're a staunch Democrat, always been a Democrat, and I'm a Republican, and I hand you $1 million, you're not going to take it because I'm a Republican? No, you're going to take that million so you can provide for you and your family and provide for education, provide for nice housing, provide for food on the table. Don't let these political leaders, these political organizations, both Democrat and Republican, tell you don't vote for that guy because there's an R or a D behind his name. I say, as the St. Clair County Freedom Coalition always says, vote the person, not the party. The person that's going to do for you, your community, and your country.
We just had a supporter come in and send me something and said maybe you need a second motto, which is good government is nonpartisan.
You know what? That's a great thing. I'll steal that after tomorrow. Good government is nonpartisan. Mr. Steve Denari, the executive director of the St. Clair County Freedom Coalition. And I got to thank Steve because he's put us on the right path. He's been in presidential elections. Hell, he's run for Congress. He's been all over the political dial. And with his help and the help of everybody in St. Clair County, I think we're going to be victorious on November the 8th, 2016. Mr. Steve Denari, thank you very much for your time and your valuable information.
Thanks, Bob.
This is Bob Romanik. the Grim Reaper of radio, and you've been listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM, simulcasting on KZQZ 1430 AM. Insane broadcasting at its finest. America's bi-state voice of freedom. Radical Radio, and we are, as always, proud, very, very proud to be the Patriot. Come on back tomorrow, same time, same place. We'll talk politics. We'll talk politics day in and day out, because politics is life in this great United States. Democracy, what our brave military heroes have fought and died for, past, present, and future. Democracy, a word that needs to go down, a word that everybody needs to understand, needs to respect. Not corruption, not communism, not socialism, but democracy. That's what this great United States stands for. And together we can bring back democracy to our great country. And all we have to do is good people, men, women, Democrat, Republican, black, white, is stick together, unite, expose these rotten bastard, politically corrupt son of a bitch and low-life scumbag bastards that we call politicians. And when it's all said and done, on election day, each and every year, go into that poll, vote your conscience, vote for the person, not the party, the person that you feel is most qualified to lead us back to greatness. And what we have to do then, get rid of the obstacles in our way, and that's the politicians. So let's destroy them once and for all. Destroy them politically, of course, right here on the dark side.
They're coming to take me away, ha-ha. They're coming to take me away, ho-ho, hee-hee, ha-ha. To the funny farm where life is...